What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Yinzer back again with another Clash Dummies Clan Wars recap. Let me set my computer chair here so it doesn't squeak. That's not the way to do it. There we are. Okay. As you can see here, we edged out this French clan. It. I don't want to kid anybody. The war was a lot farther out of reach than the 4 stars might suggest. We were in a commanding lead the entire time, and they really didn't have a chance even toward the end. As you can see, we have 14 3 stars. They have 11, and there were a lot of bases that there were 3 bases they couldn't even put a 2-star on. Yeah, I mean, it just really wasn't as close as it came down to. We were hitting for loot a little bit early, as you can see. I'll scroll through. We missed. Let's see. We didn't get a star on the Town Hall 11. We're still trying to figure that out. We'll get there, I promise. But there's 11, 12, 15. I think that's it. So that's 3 more stars we could have had, but we were so far ahead that we were letting some of our guys hit for loot. Those who needed and wanted and had the attacks available to do so. This is going to be a Valk showcase, I suppose. 2 of the attacks are going to be mine, and I don't like doing that in the recaps because I have the live attack series and I have different things that I'll show my attacks for. I like to showcase the other members, but really the purpose of this recap would be another learning experience. Just kind of showcasing how the Valks work a little bit and how they can benefit a raid. I'm going to go ahead and start up. As you can see, this one goes literally down to the second, right when I drop the queen here, or I drop in my hog, but that was at 3 minutes and 29 seconds. So I do combine 5 Valkyries with a queen walk, and that only leaves me with 16 hogs and not a whole lot of cleanup. And the reason I chose the Valkyries is because if you look at this base, it's a southern teaser turned on its side, so this would be an eastern teaser. It wants you to come from the east side because it leaves that wall opening there. So I go ahead and do that. But what I want to do is, instead of risking my troops, specifically my Valks, instead of sending them straight in this way and risking some of them going up to the north and some of them going down to the south, I'm going to queen walk this top side. And as you can see, I got a minion there just to be safe, just to help my funnel. And I want my queen to come down this way, at least take out some of these buildings, so my Valks, I know, are going to go down toward the queen. I do know somewhere in this large compartment are all the giant bombs, and that's why I want to use the Valks, because they'll tank those bombs, and they will go ahead and just power through that large open section. And that's why I also brought the Rage spell. There's no need for a jump spell on this base. I really don't need my troops to get, my kill squad to get any deeper in than what that moat area is going to allow me to get into. So as you can see, I'll zoom in a little bit. My queen, she gets a little tangled up here because she wants to beat through this wall. To me, either the gold mine, if she's going to walk the wrong way, it looks like it's in range. I don't get it, but that's okay. I decided at this point I have to go ahead and start my attack because she's not going to come down and meet up with my group of troops down here. So I just make sure I get my funnel created. I send my max golem in. King, Valks. Normal stuff is the CC's already taken care of. My queen does take care of the enemy king on the north, and she does beat through that wall and make sure that my Valkyries are going to go toward the south. Valkyries are attracted to the heroes. As you saw, they are on the queen by themselves. They weren't on any other buildings. They wanted to go for that queen. They wanted to take her out. So I still have my queen walk coming in. As you saw, the queen just took out a bomb there, eliminating pathing to that double set. And really, there's no hope for the base on the back side because there's really no space for any more. I mean, there are spaces for bombs, but the bombs aren't there. As it's a symmetrical base, you can see the bombs are in the same spot, and all 4 of them are already triggered. But the power of the Valks actually saves me here. As you can see, I have those skelly traps beating on my hogs, and my hogs don't survive. I believe they get the final defense down, but they do not survive the attack, so the cleanup becomes real short. Yeah, they do run over there and get that that cannon down. I think I might have 1 or 2 hogs left over at the end of this. Let's see here. Doesn't look like it. I don't have anything. But my queen comes down to help out. My king's coming over to meet her. The only problem is my queen's going to have to beat through this wall to get back to this section here. And the time ran really slim. As you saw, the last strike from the queen here, or it might be the wizards that get the building down. Actually, the queen does get over there to help, but that was literally the last second. It might have been the last half a second. But that's the power of the Valks, and you'll see it later in the next couple raids. If you are using the Valks and you got the extra damage output and you got the extra tanking ability, a lot of times the shortage of hogs that's created by not having a lot of the hogs in your army, you're going to have that shortage. You don't have that power output from them, so they don't have there aren't a lot of hogs surviving toward the end of the raid. But because you have that extra tank and that extra damage output from the Valks, you normally will be able to get through the base. I do want to say that not all bases are likely Valk attacks. It's not something you want to just say, hey, I make a Go Vaho every time, so I'm going to have my golems, my Valks, and my hogs. Like that's just how I do it. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that with any army. You want to make the army part of a good scout. You want to create it around what the base needs. If that means taking a couple loons to take out a key archer tower on the outside of the walls or something like that, that's what you want to do. You can't just make a generic army and expect it to work on every base. And the Valks are extremely fidgety when it comes to funneling, so they're definitely not a troop that you want to like mess around with every single time, because if the base poses a funnel problem, you definitely don't want to be using the hogs, or the Valkyries rather. I'm going to go to number 6 here, a proper anti 3-star base. I have to thank Mad Zaz. He pioneered this attack here. Sets up the queen walk, and I drop my queen in the exact same spot right down here by this little lava squiggly, and my queen walks in and over up to the east side here, allowing me to split kill squad and really take out a large portion of this base. And as you can see, I only have 14 hogs to take out the remainder, and I have hogs survive at the end of this. It's pretty impressive. But what I found out from his attack as well is I think 3 of the 4 bombs are in that core section where that air sweeper is. So I needed to get in there, but I also had to be able to take out the enemy queen. Even though it's only a level 10, you still want to make it proper practice to take that out. So I wanted to get into that core, and I wanted to be able to take out that queen, and I'm able to do that again with the queen walk Go Vaho here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. As I said, I drop her down right there. She's going to work through the same buildings as she did during Zaz's attack. I made sure to drop her in the exact same spot because I'm not extremely precise, nor am I perfect with knowing where my queen's going to go. Right now, to me, it feels like she could go north to the army camp, and she does not on either of those buildings, and that's something that I would have been really nervous about had I just missed it on the tile, not set it exactly where Mad Zaz set his queen, and that could have ruined the raid. Actually, it very well would have ruined the raid. So I'm really glad he showed me how and where to place my queen in his attack, because it really helped mine. So now we got the queen down, and my queen's going to continue working around the base here. The other benefit to the Valks is, and to the cleanup attack, is I know there's a Lava Hound in the CC. And with a Lava Hound in the CC, Valkyries don't shoot at the Lava Hound. So you'll see that Lava Hound survives almost to the it almost doesn't burst at all in this attack. So I created my funnel up here. The Valks are already going in. This corner of the wall is broken. My king does take a walk. You'll see that I save him with my hog deployment, and that really doesn't matter because he's just going to create extra cleanup around the left side of the base here. As you can see, my queen is still doing perfectly fine down there. I gave a heal to my Valks because I needed them to get into that core. 2 of them broke off right here and want to go through this wall, but I do get some into the core with some golems. Here go the bombs. I knew the Tesla farm's down there. I knew I wasn't going to get into it. That's fine. But look how little of the base is actually remaining. I have another heal for the Tesla farm, and the queen's going to take care of this Wiz Tower and that cannon over there as soon as she turns the corner. So there's really no threat to my hogs. And I have 2 poisons here. I'm going to put them both on the skeleton traps just to make sure they don't bother my hogs at the end of this raid. But look at the health on the lava hound here. It's untouched. It's completely untouched. And such a little part of this base is left to clean up. As soon as the hogs get through the final defense, there's only 6% left of the base. So, and there's the hound not exploding at all. Just a lot of power coming from the Valks, and all 4 of the bombs were actually in that core, which is a terrible thing to do, but it's not my base. I attack what I am given. So just that added power, again, you saw it there. And at that time I did have a lot of hogs survive because I was able to split the kill squad and take out such a large portion, or I could do a split hero attack rather, and take out such a large portion of the base before even putting my hogs into the fight. So I knew they were going to do a lot of damage with very minimal troop space. As you saw, I only had 14 hogs in that attack. I have Wolf caught on to the hogs, or to the Valks rather, and as you can see, this is a very common base. We know where the bombs are here. They're in this area along with Teslas. We're familiar with this. We've seen this before. As you can see here, he's just going to Quake open. I'm not sure if there's a hound in the CC here. If there is, the way I judge whether I want to do a Quake spell or whether I want to do a jump spell is if I know there's a hound in the CC, I will go ahead and do the Quake spell because I don't need the double poison. If it's a first hit, or if there's a chance that or if it is dragon and loons, I will always take the poisons because there's no point in getting that not getting that out of your way immediately. So he does have 1 Valk stray on him, but it looks like 4 come back to the middle here. He's already got bombs triggering. Like I said, we knew that all the Teslas and all the bombs were there. Already trickling in his hogs. He knows he's going to hit a bomb there, but it does minimal damage because nothing's really targeting the hogs at this point. They're still focused on those Valkyries that are in the core. As you see, look at both of these expos here. Both of them are shooting at the same Valkyrie, and that Valkyrie nearly survives. It was only taken out there last second by the remaining expo. So Wolf is out of heals now, but all the bombs are triggered. He still has his heroes, his queen rather, because he did not have his king during this raid, which I just noticed, which is impressive. But like I said, it's a poor base, and we've seen it before, so we know where everything's at. But that's just the added, and that's a great time, and I'll point that out here because he didn't have his king. Because the Valkyries are attracted to the enemy heroes, really, in a 3-star attack, the kill squad's objective, like I said before, primary objective is take out the enemy CC and take out the enemy archer queen. Secondary objective, if you're doing hogs, is to eliminate double giant bomb spots. If it's Lalo, it's to eliminate air defenses. And in this case, Wolf did not have his king, and those Valkyries are very, very good at getting locked on to the enemy heroes, which the main part a king plays in a 3-star attack is taking out the enemy archer queen. So if you don't have the king in your army, you need something to make sure, to guarantee you're going to get that enemy archer queen out of the way, and the Valkyries are the best way to do that in replacement of the king. I don't recommend going to war without your heroes. Some of us do it sometimes, and that's usually because we have such good cleanup at the Town Hall 9 level that it really doesn't matter if that person fails. They still get a really good scout hit, and we still get a lot of information from it. So we're able to clean it up relatively easy. And a lot of us have fairly high level heroes for Town Hall 9, getting close to max, and a lot of us in like the mid to high 20s range. So the Queen normally is enough to get the job done anyhow. I'm also going to show a younger Town Hall 9 here. This is Benny. Like I said before, he was a new member last war recap. I think he got a showcase in that one. Now, this is another base that we've seen too many times. He comes in from the south, and Benny's catching on to the 3-star strategies. If I were to hit this base, personally, I would come in from this flat wall right here. And the reason I would come in from that flat wall is because I know, just from looking at this, zoomed out here, that right here and right here between these cannons and these air Ds are going to be giant bombs. And I'm guessing there's going to be 2 in each spot. So all 4 of the bombs there. Well, if you really don't want to come in at the point. And the reason you don't want to come in at the point is because it causes your troops to split. If you come in at this point and you don't get your funnel created wide enough, your king can walk on you, your queen can walk on you around the outside of the base, not go in, can ruin the raid. And the big issue is that if your troops do get in here, now I see that this wall over here is broken and this wall over here is not. So his hero or his troops won't split. But if those were both broken, if one golem walked this way and one golem walked this way, it might not be the end of your raid. But what could be the end of your raid is if both golems walk to one side and your king and queen go to the other. That leaves your king and queen unprotected. They get taken out by this crossbow and by the point defense over on that side of the base. The raid's over because you never got deep enough into the base. So I would come into to the flat side because I know from this point the troops are all going to come in toward the Wiz Tower and then walk toward the north. And if you quake open right over this like middle section here with nothing in it, so useless use of walls there. If you just quake that open, you'll be able to take out all 4 of those bombs, and there's nothing left to this base that can't be done solely with hogs. He does run out of hogs on this attack, and again, just because of the tanking power of the Valkyries, is able to get it done with really no, somewhat of an issue. Really not that bad, though. And he doesn't even have max Valks. That's another thing that just shows you the power of these things even before they're maxed, which is great because they take quite a while to get maxed. It's a lot of Dark Elixir, especially for someone who's early in Town Hall 9 to get the Valkyries maxed. So as you can see, he comes in at the south here. The other problem coming in at the south here poses, and it really isn't that big of a problem, but his golems are attracted to that one archer tower, so you can't get a real good split, real good funnel created. But he doesn't have a problem on this base because there's no point defense out far enough to take out his wizards. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see what's going on. Big cluster in the middle. Enemy heroes are down. Valks are in the core, tanking for those Expos, tanking for the Teslas. If he burned a heal right there for the core, that would be great, but he chooses not to, which actually turns out to be a wise decision because he does hit all of these bombs with his hogs. And as you can see, I think he loses a few more hogs over on this side than he did on the other because that triggers at the same time. So he has 3 hogs up here. Fortunately, everything's still being tanked by his kill squad. These 3 hogs get to take out this cannon. He does keep those 2 alive there. They take out that Wiz Tower, this mortar. Fortunately, actually that cannon just retargeted onto the hog here, so that hog's going to go down. So he has 2 defenses remaining, no hogs left. What is nice though is he has this golem that's still full health, and it's a max golem, so it's going to do a lot of tanking. And he remembered to put his whiz down on the outside of the trash ring so they get good fast cleanup because they're coming around to meet these other troops. So the queen's going to bust through this wall, walk over, and oh, actually she's going to be, oh, I didn't see that wall was broken there. Okay, she's going to go over, follow the golem, take out this elixir storage, take out the archer tower that's remaining, and there's nothing left to this base. And there's only 13% left in order to clean up. Takes him quite a while to do so because he doesn't have a ton of troops, and his queen has to break through this wall, but he gets the job done nonetheless. And again, a tribute to the tanking power of the a tribute to the tanking power of the Valkyries and the damage output and what they're able to do in a core with 2 Expos and 4 Teslas beating down on them with high hit point structures like the Town Hall. So I hope that was a little bit, that was just a little touch of info on the Valks and how beneficial they can be to a raid. Key points with the Valks, again, I just want to go over them real quick. Make sure you have a nice wide funnel because the Valks will stray on you. Their artificial intelligence is pretty sketchy. It's easy to figure out. They just go to buildings that are right next to each other because they want to take out 2 buildings at once, and they will often run past a building to get that job done. That's what they like to do. They do lock onto heroes, so they're a great substitute for a Barb King if you're not taking your Barb King into battle. Oftentimes in a Hog raid and a Govaho raid, it is beneficial to use a heal spell on your Valkyries when they're in the core tanking all that damage. It works out more times than not to use that heal on the Valks because then they can put out more damage and take on more fire while your Hogs have nothing focused on them and are able to tear apart the rest of the base. I suppose the only other major thing with the Valkyries is if you're looking to take out a large portion of the base, that's when they're most beneficial. If the enemy base has a large core, that also makes the Valkyries very beneficial because that's a lot of damage that can be taken out, a lot of potential for giant bomb spots that can be taken out, and that's what the Valks are good at. Taking down heroes, taking out potential bomb spots, and taking out large portions of the base. Again, make sure you burn a heal on them. It's always worth it. Hopefully, this has been a decent informational video on how to do like a Govaho, maybe give you some ideas as far as the future goes. I will have a more in-depth coverage as I get more attacks flowing in with the Valks. In the current war we're in right now, as you can see, another massacre, we're using a lot more Valks just based on our success from the previous war that I just recapped. So hopefully I have more content from that one. As always, make sure you like, sub, share, and repeat, not necessarily in that order. This is your boy Yenzer, and I'm out for the evening.